Greetings and welcome back, everyone. This is Into the Nexus, the podcast all about Heroes of the Storm. I'm Garrett Weinzierl, here as always with Kyle Fergusson, and returning to guest and hang out and talk about all things Heroes of the Storm, healing, and probably dinosaurs if the pre-show is any indication, is none other than Kiyeberries. Welcome back to the show, Kai.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Thanks for coming back. And, just to refresh anyone's mind, maybe some folks are listening. They didn't hear the last episode you were on. They were not already aware of your wonderful stream over at twitch.tv/Kiyeberries. You do all kinds of stuff. You stream Heroes of the Storm. You're a live coordinator for the CCL. And I hear you're, if your Twitter's to be believed, a rider of horses.
I am all of those things, yes. And now I've been given a new goal to ride a horse in a dinosaur costume. But yeah, I stream the Heroes Storm mostly, sometimes some World of Warcraft, but mostly HOTS. And I do work at CCL, and I really like horses.
So what does that job entail over on CCL? Because live coordinator, it could be anything.
Yeah, that title is a little confusing. It is a lot of things, mostly behind the scenes things, working on the Twitch and YouTube side of CCL of making the broadcast happen. I guess we're technically part of the production crew, but the way people would see us most is we're the chat moderators. So we're there for the entire broadcast every time, in the chat, making sure things don't get wildly out of hand, which they do sometimes, answering questions, providing information, and then all of the back-end stuff for Twitch and YouTube. We do those things. There's a couple of us, but I'm on every CCL one, so I'll see you this weekend.
So you're the one reprimanding me when I get a little too excited about Kyle.
Right, yeah, I am the one making sure all of the Kyle Fergusson thirst copy pastas are above board, meet all specifications, and make sure those get through.
Perfect. There's also another reason why I know you've been invited back, because our fans on this show need to hear about the trenches. They get sick of us talking about this diamond and plat business, and they want to know what the real game's like.
Oh no. They want to hear the horror stories, the war stories.
Well, and not only
of
war
what it's
stories,
like,
but the healing stories. Not the one who sees it all in the background and wishes you didn't re-engage.
Yeah. I have many a time when you pull someone out as Anduin and they go directly back in. Bonus points if it's a Sonya who leaps in with like 5 health. Good times.
It's called asserting your dominance.
Yeah, that's the levels of confidence there. You just can't.
And when I do it, I yell, "You're not my real dad." That's what I do when I leap back in after being gripped.
It's actually so funny if I play with people who are higher ranked. Either they're on Smurfs, or sometimes you just get those rainbow games where you get smooshed together. And the things that surprise and frustrate them are so... It's always funny to me what they expect people to do from their experience as being like a good rank, and then down in gold, or God forbid like silver or even bronze, and then the things that players actually do that they just cannot wrap their brains around.
I feel like you're just subtly like throwing Kyle and the rest of your team under the bus. You're just like, oh, when I'm smooshing.
No. Because when we play, we just do whatever Cav says to do. So it's great. It's awesome. No thoughts, only Cavalier guests. But no, like I was playing with like Tiger yesterday, and what he expects our teammates to do is so different from what actually happens. And just every day it's like trying to explain to him, like, they're not going to go soak. They're not going to rotate his 4. They're not going to do that camp. Like, it's never going to happen.
Right, but this comes in stages too, because I've experienced this myself. Like when we play with Porky, like there's the I'm here and I expected Vala to auto attack the enemy team rather than run away. That's like the plat diamond kind of view of what the heck is going on in the zone. But when you play with masters and grandmasters, there's this galaxy brain level of what they expect of you that just doesn't make any sense in a real home game.
You gotta lower those expectations, buddy. That's
you need
you're
to
up here.
adapt
You're
to
up here
what
to
is-
10. You gotta come down.
Yeah, you need to adapt to what is actually happening as opposed to critiquing what isn't. Is what I notice anytime I play with someone who's so much better than me. Like I just get frustrated because I'm like, that's nice. You're not going to convince these other 3 people that they, suddenly need to do all of the things that you believe.
Yeah, it's frustrating to say sometimes too, but it's like if they knew, if the offlaner knew they need to be soaking top on Towers of Doom, they would already be doing it, and they might not be like Silver 3 anymore at this point. Like they don't know that they need that top is the off lane. They don't know that. And you can tell them, and they probably won't care, and they'll keep fighting mid. Like
that's a good bite-sized example, though. I mean, that's the kind of one where you just go, "Hey, so and so, maybe it's a Sonya. could you take top lane?" And that's as much as you can do. Maybe they say yes, and they go, "Sure, I'm on it," and you go, "Thanks." You give them a thumbs up or whatever your favorite emoticon is, and
yeah. It's hard as the healer too, because sometimes like I see that and I'm like, yeah, we don't have anybody soaking top. I don't know what I'm gonna do about it, but I'm just an Anduin. Let me waddle up there and soak top lane, and then they keep brawling. Yeah, it's hard stuff, but
I'm starting to understand it. But the bubbliness that always gets me, the one that is the ultimate confusion at the moment, is prio. It's like you call a health food store and they answer and say, "Good morning, it's going to be a wonderful day." I'm like, what kind of day? How do you know this? This magic happens. You woke up this morning like, "Good day, we have prio." I'm like, what? The wave is doing a thing that we wanted it to? What is this prio? Why is it good? And why have you declared it?
Yeah, that is tough. That sounds like Porky. I can hear Porky in that.
I have no
We've
idea
got
what
lane
you're talking
prio
about.
top.
I think it means I should ask. Mockery's been saying it a lot recently too. I think it means that you cleared faster than they could, and they are now pushed out, meaning that you have site priority or lane control, so you can access the Infernal Shrine from a different angle, or they're now going to be busy clearing while you do this other thing. So you've gained priority.
You have time to go gank or get a camp, or you often don't want to be you don't want to push to under their towers because then you're in danger. So you can wait for the lane to push back and do something else during that time.
Are we just like making up words now? It sounds like we're just making up words.
Yeah, the GMs, man, they're confusing people.
I think it might be like a mental trick of positivity. Like you could say, "I've pushed this so far, there's nothing left for me to do. I'm bored." Or you could say, "I have prio, guys. Leave your lane and think about doing something else for a time."
You play off lane and things that double soak pretty often, Kyle, right? So like when you have a lane under control, when you can go soak a different lane or do a camp, that's kind of like that's that, right?
Yeah, I've learned through my CCL interviews of particularly off-lane players that I think it evolved more out of just like sheer boredom. It wasn't actually that any meta developed where people were like, "Oh, hey, let's double soak and we can like put 4 people bottom Dragonshire." It was literally the lack of tower ammo that caused them to go, "I will literally sit in lane and I will go insane if I stay here. Maybe I can go lose a little XP mid and just do something else."
Camps always be camping, right? That's the thing. Go do a camp, maybe.
ABC?
Yeah.
All I've learned is that I'm going to ask my doctor if Prylo is right for me.
How can I get some of that lane prio?
That's what I'm going to ask. Now hit me with the side effects. But how have you been handling the shakeups in Heroes of the Storm? It's been a while since we've had you on, and there's been it's been a bit of a journey for Anduin, who I know you like. But also like multiple healers. We got a pretty substantial Brightwing update as well.
Yeah, the last couple changes, the last 2 changes, I guess, were good for me. Alex Straza is also like one of my favorite healers to play. Not super popular, but Q build, which is the one I prefer, got buffed. So, yay!
Just I think last time you were on, we like unscripted, it wasn't planned, got into a really long conversation about ways to possibly switch up Alex, and I don't think any of it happened. But
I just hate W builds with every fiber of my being. It got picked in CCL, I think, the week before last and lost, so that felt really good to me. because I just like it so much. I would hate to see it win. But Q-Build got buffed, so that made me happy. Anduin, I feel like, is doing pretty okay. Doing pretty okay with his major changes. Brightwing also doing pretty okay. Weirdly, for me, it didn't change a lot of how I play her. I did try some other builds, like since they shook up Z, I guess. But the biggest real change for me was the level 20 upgrade to Emerald Wind. Is so much fun. It's kind of hard not to take. I don't know if it's better than Blink Heal, and I still like Blink Heal, but it's stupid fun being able to just spam Emerald Wind with no mana penalty. Like, that's just dumb. It's great.
The mana penalty was pretty rough before, but I mean, I don't know. They've been like, even now that we've got, you know, a different like lead balance designer, we think we're not even sure who they are, but we know AZ Jackson left. But even like from AZ Jackson to the kind of the changing of the guard, they've been going pretty hard after 20s and making them more powerful, more interesting. So I was happy to see Brighton.
Yeah, I like
some exciting.
I like when they're adding in more stupid fun stuff. Just like it doesn't have to make sense or maybe be super good or meta. It's just really fun to use and can create some interesting moments or interesting like interactions where you're like, oh, remember that game where we were on the point and I was just spamming Emerald Wind and everybody was knocking back and I stole the boss and it was delightful.
Yeah. So it looks like I was just looking at, it's been a bit since I looked at Anduin. He did take a bit of a dip with the second to most recent patch, and then with the most recent patch, it looks like he's back on the upswing as far as win rates are concerned.
Yeah, so the 2 patches ago, I guess, the major one where they did a lot of work to him. Then the one after that, they just buffed. They just gave him buffs all across the board because he wasn't doing so hot. So that felt good. And they also put back my favorite talent for him, Inner Focus, which they removed in that major kind of rework thing. I love Inner Focus. It's great, and they put it back.
Yeah, you're I think that's how I learned the patch was even out. Was I saw a tweet from you just super
Inner Focus in all caps. That was just it.
Back.
No context, just Inner Focus in all caps. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that and like Rainer's Ace in the Hole getting reverted. Like there were a couple things where they were like, all right, maybe we took it a little too far, got a little too different. Or those were the two things I noticed that seemed like just full on reversions of changes that they made.
Yeah, well, I mean, we did it Reddit, I guess, because enough people complained and just sadly lamented the loss of those abilities, so they put them back. They're listening. They're out there. They're listening to us. They hear our words. Whoever the devs are, they're listening. Maybe right now.
Maybe it's mostly at least on the subreddit. I mean, Daybringer and Kofal, they're both very, very active on there, developer wise. I think we lost Kai. Yep.
Oh no, we did.
Yep.
with a frozen camera, no less.
Better.
Talking though.
Oh wait, she's back.
Oh no.
Ah.
You're back.
Is it okay?
I'm gonna change Discord servers real quick because it's
okay.
It ain't behaving. All right, is everyone back? I see movement.
Hello?
Yes, wonderful. I was going to say, if that was a freeze frame, that was a magnificent troll. You were doing a very good job.
No, I was still talking. Like I was like,
Well,
I heard we lost Kai, and I made a full face, like it was not.
Yeah, we did not see that over there. Over here, it was just mid speech.
All right, we're back though.
We are back and talking about healers again. Did you get to enjoy Bug Stukov before they turned him off?
As Kyle probably knows, I don't play Stukov. So the tale of woe is I kind of played Stukov and I just wasn't super great at him. I have a hard time with his level 13, the root talent, the big root in the silence. And we picked it in, I think it was the Cupid's Coliseum game, right? For Baby on Board. And And I did really bad. Like, it was a really bad game for me. I was depressed afterwards. Like, I had to go cry into a pillow, and I just didn't do well with Stukov, and I swore him off. He went on the do not play list, and I have not revisited him since. So I didn't play him while he was bugged, and I see some in the notes my thoughts on the changes, and my thoughts are that I don't play that. He's the only healer that I will refuse to play under any circumstances presently.
Well, there's a couple of factors there. One, when your shot caller / drafter Cavalier guest says something is busted, funny how busted it is, the certain expectations begin to grow, and it's hard to match those expectations.
True. Yeah, they expect like a power level, and I can't. It's okay though, because Cav will play Stukov tank. That's a thing, apparently. So we still get Stukov games, just not from me.
Kyle, sometimes I wonder how you ever show up to this show with anything relevant to people playing the game at home.
What do you mean?
Whenever I hear about the new weird thing that Cav is doing, I'm just like, how do you leave what you play with anything the rest of us can do?
Did you guys process the Ariel tank games? Like, did that come up?
Oh, yeah, I think I did bring that up. Our triple support Braxis.
Ariel with the tagline, I mean, he's basically ranged Diablo.
If you're if you're triple supporting, I mean, it's, at that point, I'll believe if you have that many healers. I'll believe whoever you say the tank is.
Yeah, Ariel. It has 100% win rate for our team. You can't. I think we've done it 2 or 3 times, and
yeah,
I think it just confuses the enemy team into not being able to process, and that's how we win.
Also, Mockery does a lot of damage, and when you give him 3 healers, he does a lot more damage. But I will say, I will answer your question, Garrett. And the secret is that I'm DPS this season on the ladder. Cassia, a little bit of Vala, but mostly no one's picking Cassia, and she's amazing. And in that way, I never confuse myself or upset myself by playing offlaner, because I save that for my friends over on Baby on Board.
Okay, gotcha.
But I did practice at Cav's request this week, Blaze, and that was a very fun project. However, I would hover it in the draft, and everyone assumed I wanted to main tank, and it didn't go at all well. I lost every game.
Oh no.
Yeah, no. You need to lie to them. You need to take them on a mild lie journey where you hover clearly a solo laner, and then at the end go, oh, let's go Blaze. So you
hover Sonya. Say
Sonya.
you want to hold the off lane pick and see what they pick, and then at the last possible nanosecond switch to Blaze.
Yeah, you 100% need to engineer the off lane Blaze pick, because
I know I used to do this with Mal'Ganis. I'd be like hovering ETC the whole time, and I'd be like, wait a minute, everybody, I'm planning this the whole time, but this is like the perfect Mal'Ganis situation. Yeah. Everyone, like,
you're already a pro at this. You taught me how to socially engineer shit in Heroes of the Storm. You're the master of this.
See, this is where it happens, though. This is like if I got into the draft listening to Cav, and you would like hover Stukov, and everyone's like, great, we got a support. You're like, no, this is main tank. Like, I was literally sold. Box, sell it, bang the table. Like that Blaze is the most broken, amazing offlaner on the planet. And so by hovering him, I just assumed that everybody knew this. So that's where I get in trouble. But
see, no, that's, yeah.
He is. That we had a game this week in the CCS Nexomania where I got to do offlane Blaze. And it is amazing. You have suppressive fire, 50% spell power out of like enemy. I think it was Genji's doing dragon blades. You could do bunker drop for friends because you're not managing your position and like main taking or having to like use oil correctly. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I've started working on Blaze this week, and like all but one game, like it was just me Blaze by my lonesome. So it was attempting to main tank Blaze, and how successful that seems strictly correlated to how many other stuns were on our team that wasn't mine, so that I could follow up with a dash as opposed to try and engage with it. but the one game where I got to go off lane with Blaze, it was delightful. It is a treat when the team isn't looking at you like a go-to tank.
You played that Blaze game. Was that the BOE where Mockery was on Genji?
No, that was so it was the Tomb of the Spider Queen where I did the Blaze, but that his Genji game, that was Hogger. And
yeah, that was fun.
Oh man, Hogger Genji, that was so much fun. We had like this magical gelling moment where we finally understood what it meant to dive together this week. It seems obvious, but practice. It's actually kind of phenomenal how much being outside the NGS for our team has allowed us to have fun, experiment, and made us a lot better.
Yeah, we did some fun things this week. I'm glad we didn't lose to that Garrosh again too. That was traumatic last time.
Garrett, have I told you about the conglomeration that is Phoenix Rising? It's absurd.
No.
So many teams.
Apparently, it probably happens with guilds too in World of Warcraft, but there's this team called Phoenix Rising that apparently had so many players on that team, they decided to split into 2 teams.
Well, wait, maybe you did tell me about this.
Yeah. And that they keep getting more. Their roster's like 9 people for one of these conglomerations, one of these franchises. And scouting them is impossible because you have no idea who's going to show up that night. There's like 4 other versions of it, all named after like crystals and stuff. It's bizarre.
They have like, I think they have 7 teams, right? And then each team has like 9 members. There's so many. They're the whole league. It's just all Phoenix Rising.
They just battled themselves. The judges are exhausted because they're trying to make sure nobody's throwing on purpose.
It does sound like a lot. So anyway, you ran afoul of one of their Garroshes, and you got revenge this week. It sounds like.
Yes, sweet revenge.
Okay. Nice. Well, that's.
I hate
good.
games where you lose to like a brutal Garrosh too, where you just it feels really bad. It's one of the worst things I feel to lose to is a good Garrosh because you just feel so, I don't know, powerless or abused.
That's how I feel about losing to really, really abusive Diablo players.
Yeah, that can be too. Where Diablo kills you all by himself, like
yes,
you're like I'm just standing here like by my towers, and Diablo's like, not today, nerd, and just banging you back and forth. Yeah, that's a tough one too.
Soul awareness, yeah, it's a weakness of I love Diablo, but I'm not very good at realizing I'm at 100 souls. Therefore, I should be insane because I want to hold on to my souls, right? So, but there's these Diablos out there that just like I'm at 100, I can do anything I want. Here I go.
They need to make it so much more obvious for both the Diablo that is at max souls and the people on the receiving end of the Diablo. They need to make like Super Saiyan glowing energy BS just surround Diablo. Just make it really, really obvious that it's go time.
I don't want to make myself sad, but I'm jumping in try mode here. Does he get like a full graphic under his feet or something? Should I know this?
I
don't know.
Oh, yeah. Actually, below his feet, he has a glowing soul stone if he's at 100 souls.
Yeah.
We need that to be like 10 times larger.
Yeah, when they pop out of a bush out of nowhere and just kill me within 3 seconds, I'm really taking the time to look at the feet.
Yeah, underneath all of Diablo. Didn't you see he was at 4 souls? Okay, yeah.
Dude has more spikes on his back than Gul'dan. How am I supposed to see what's going on with his toes?
I agree. I think putting that on like making his eyes glow or something, but then you gotta do it.
Oh, and it's freaking the same color as him. What?
Yeah.
No.
What if the Diablo player got like a screen border, like if you get nano boosted or stim droned when he hit 100 souls, he just all of a sudden just like his whole screen was like red and pulsing energy, just really bringing you into the moment.
Yes. Like my favorite game that's awful, Prototype. It's such an awful game, but
once a year.
Once a year, I got to bring it up, man.
Once a year.
What is it? I don't know this game.
It was like, it came out like, 08, I think?
Yeah, 2008. Like, just, it was an angsty dude who got infested by red biomass business, and it just spoke to my angsty early college self, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was.
Is this like it sounds like an off-brand like Venom?
Yes,
You know, the
Actually,
symbiote, yeah.
you're right. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, cool. Okay, so it's a great value brand symbiote.
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
part
Love
of the
it.
Hero Wars that Infamous was part of back when, we were doing the whole like Bugs Life Ants thing with video game or
Right,
Shark
yeah, yeah.
Tale Finding
that's
Nemo.
right.
Like every
Yeah, because I never played Prototype because I played Infamous, and I was like,
Yeah,
this
yeah, you picked
looks
one.
similar. Yeah.
You picked one. That was your allegiance.
Yeah. Answer a Bug's Life. There you go. You can only watch one. That's why to this day I've never. No,
I think I preferred ants. I think I'm on Team Ants rather than A Bug's Life.
I think I preferred Ferngully. That was my brand of tiny.
That's a little before. That's a
tiny
little
plant based.
Oh, but Ferngully had one. It was Thumbelina.
You're right. I never saw that one. There you go. You see, you always pick one. Except I definitely saw both Ants and A Bug's Life, and I didn't. Really
I know I
care
saw
for either
both,
of
but
them.
if I'm declaring my allegiance, it's going to be to Ants.
It did have the melting ants in the big battle.
Well, while we're delightfully off topic, before we get into this week's news, let's take a quick break and thank everyone that supports us over at patreon.com/ITN. If you like what we're doing here and you want to support us with $1 or more, head on over to patreon.com/ITN. Not only do you help Kyle and myself pay the bills, we also pay our guests for their time. And we do that because of your support over on the Patreon. So go check it out. Join our Discord when you sign up to become a patron. You also get to play games with us during our monthly game nights. And also, while I'm doing a little bit of housekeeping here, Kyle, we've got an announcement next week. It's rare we have a guest like 2 weeks back to back, so that's why we're making a particularly big deal about it. Next week, we're going to be joined by HOTS developer Cofault. Cofault's going to be joining us, going to be taking a break from, actually, I bet knowing Cofault, he'll also probably be answering questions on Reddit while also being on the show. I don't think Cofault takes a break for any reason whatsoever.
Very excited for it, whoever they might be. But certainly they are talking about balance a lot on the Reddit, and we look forward to hearing their philosophies.
So they're on Twitter with what I imagine is like an actual photo of their face, and I just don't think a lot of people have noticed.
What, there's a real person?
Yeah.
But you didn't think it was, like, you thought it was a robot? Like,
Well, I figured, Daybringer is the other really, active dev, and Daybringer's a handle. Although I guess AZ Jackson is AZ Jackson.
Yeah, but Cofault did have his gamer tag, which was Rarjar.
Yes.
yeah, you guys know Rajar, right? Like,
Yeah.
he's a oldie. He's
But
so cute.
But up until very, very recently, I did not realize that Cofault was Rajar.
Oh, okay. That's why I was like, you think he's a robot? Like,
yeah.
Rajar.
Yeah, I did.
Rajar.
I did not know that.
Rajar's a homegrown dev. He used to be like a player and a streamer and a pro player, and he's one of us.
I believe used to work in esports and then eventually became a dev.
Yeah.
We'll probably go over this, with Cofault here so we can actually confirm or deny some of these things. But
ask Rajar when he's here if he remembers the really cute picture of him I took at BlizzCon 2017.
So
So
send
cute.
it in for
He's like looking up at the camera like this, and he's got his hands up in a little kawaii thing, and it's just the cutest picture. It was his Twitter picture for a little while. I still have it.
Oh,
That's
if you
delightful.
do, just send it to us and we'll use it as
I
the
never
Reddit post
never
tag.
delete anything. Like,
Yeah. No, we need that. We need that as a tag or an image for the show on YouTube.
I'm on it.
That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. Thank you. Thank you for helping us 2 weeks in a row on the show, Kai. But yeah, so tune in next week for that. But in the meantime, let's get into this week's Heroes of the Storm news.
We're on, boys! Ha-ha! Let's liven up this place!
Point me to the stage.
Stay a while and listen.
Stukov is out of Nexus jail. You can use Stukov again, everybody. Congratulations. Enjoy.
That was one of my favorite CCL questions that weekend. Well, why is Stukov banned? Well, he's not. He's disabled. Why is he disabled? Because he's bugged. Well, undisable him. I don't have this power.
You're the live coordinator, damn it.
Yeah, no,
Make it happen.
there was angry people showing up, and Twitch will tell you if it's somebody's first time in your channel, and a lot of them were first time viewers who were just like, why?
Well,
why? Fix it.
It's gonna be pretty cool though, because you have to imagine then these are people who primarily watch Heroes instead of play it, because if they played it and they were that passionate about Stukov, they would already know that Stukov is turned off.
Yeah, I guess they don't. It's weird to me because I can't say they don't use social media, because Twitch has to be considered a form of social media, right? But because it was on Reddit and it was on Twitter, but they didn't see those things. But they came to Twitch to a tournament, and they think, what do you want me to do about it? But yeah, there was a lot of that. Why is Stukov turned off? Turn him back on. We also had one really exciting person who was like, if you go into Quick Matcher versus AI and hit random, there is a chance you could get Stukov. Apparently it was somebody got Stukov while he was disabled. So they're like, well, why don't you guys just do it that way? Why don't you just have the teams hit random until they get Stukov? It's like, that's not going to work. That's not going to happen.
I mean, okay. I mean, sure.
I know.
Maybe they don't even play Heroes. Maybe these are folks that just go around looking for things that are disabled in a game, and they just like commenting on it. That's their thing.
There are definitely folks who don't play the game and just look for places to troll. But yeah, the Stukov questions were a highlight of that weekend for me, because it was just like, I don't know what kind of power you think I have, but that's not it.
Oh yeah, the best is when you go by like an Overwatch or WoW Reddit, and they bring in Heroes of the Storm as some sort of example why the company's failing. This and that about WoW, this and that about 2016 since the last real game. And I don't know, Heroes hasn't had an update. No, and you're, you don't even
HGC
know.
was canceled.
Yeah,
What
HGC was. That was forever ago. There's so much going on now.
We've moved on, okay?
We're okay.
Why would you complain about that here? One of the few places trying to keep the competitive dream alive.
Yeah, right?
What are you doing? Stop.
This was a really impressive bug fix, though. I mean, they basically went through and got everything. No new bugs were added either. I mean, simple stuff that like the basic attack animation for Spine Launcher is now back online. The crazy bugs that were causing things to turn off permanently or be castable multiple times are gone. And Stukov is down 2% actually as of this week. So little mini rework has made him maybe just more popular.
My favorite bug fix was the Malfurion Serenity fix, because that's been in the game for a couple years. And I think not a lot of people, myself included, didn't even know about it for a long time. And then it kind of, at least in my world, because of CCL, it got added to our ban talent list, even though it had been bugged. We didn't know. I feel like not a lot of people knew. Basically, Malf's level 20 upgrade to Tranquility was healing more than it should. Like, I think it was 2 times as much.
And they ended up baking in.
And they fixed that too.
Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, they ended up baking in some of the healing, because Kyle and I were joking last week. We were just like, I don't think anyone's complaining that Malfurion has too much throughput.
Yeah, I was like, wow, you guys really got thorough in the bug fixes there. Looking for some old ones.
Yeah, well, it's been a talking point on the subreddit for a while, and there's now like that spreadsheet going around of like all known bugs, and they're just adding to it and keeping it updated, and so like I don't know, like I think that probably legitimately helps.
Yeah,
the Heroes team is small, and it's just becoming more and more murky as to how it gets updated, how often it's going to be updated, and how much, how big the team even is anymore. So there's just something about it that seems like scrappy and purely from a place of passion is the vibe I'm getting. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Typically, I kind of take an adversarial approach to Reddit. I kind of look at Reddit as like, y'all are just mad to be mad. When I like,
that's probably true for a
on
lot
the
of
game.
Redditors.
But it's a motherly approach, Like this came from like a place of almost anger at Blizzard. We will hold them accountable for their bugs. We won't let them get away with it. And they're like, and it's like, I hate you, Mom. And she's just like, and I love you still. I still love you. You go out and you be angsty. You'll be over it. I'll be here for you. And that's kind of what they did. They're like, oh, you know what? We could, and they absolutely would have every right to be like, stop listing our bugs. We're aware. Please, we have internal records of all this. You're driving us insane. But instead, they're like, yeah, let's fix that.
Yeah, that's where I was getting at. Is like the Heroes subreddit really stands. Obviously, there's any community is going to have negativity, but the Heroes subreddit really stands out for me in its kind of, I don't know, legitimate concern and intrigue. Like everyone, like the vast majority of players, they want to talk about the game and they want to see it improve and help how they can. So it's a nice place to be. I like it. Over there. But anyways, there are other bug fixes as well. A lot of them aren't as like exciting as, Stukov is no longer ban worthy. We got like a minor note on Brightwing Speedy Dragon being now listed as a talent that improves phase shift. It's a little more subtle than some of these other changes.
Yeah, that's a weird one to me because isn't it just movement speed for her just all the time?
I think they did one more thing to
it. Did they tack stuff onto it?
There was an added functionality, I believe, in the most recent balance patch. I'm trying to fire it.
Here we go. Reduce phase shift's cast time to 1 second.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, that's right. That is a neat one too. It's hard to pick versus some of her other level 20s, but that is neat.
Please see Emerald Wind conversation from 10 minutes ago.
Right. Well, yeah. If you take Emerald Wind, then that upgrade is really fun. If you take Blink Heal, Invisible Friends, if you're playing with decent people, Invisible Friends is really powerful. And if you're not so much playing with decent people, or depending on the enemy team, Fairy Protector is really powerful too. That AoE shield, spell shield can get a lot of value.
I like the word decent, as though they're good humans, not just bad players.
It can feel really bad if you take Invisible Friends and you're trying to use it on somebody who can really get good value out of it, like Garrosh or Diablo. Like having an invisible Garrosh is terrifying, and then he just immediately will like cancel it in any way possible. Like
to the nearest lane.
Yeah, auto attack a minion that he doesn't need to hit, or he was already mounted, so he dismounts and then remounts, and you're like, why did you do that? I've seen it happen, so it's like you're like, okay.
I only take Invisible Friends if I know my team tips 20% or more when they dine out.
Yeah, I only take Invisible Friends if I know my teammates are going to play with it. And in like gold, a lot of the times it's going to be a no. So it's usually just Fairy Protector at that point. Here's a shield. Here's a shield when you go in. Just be okay, please. Which also got buffed. They made it guaranteed that the shield will bounce back and hit Brightwing. So that was also buffed. Yay.
Yeah, I haven't messed with that one yet. I'm assuming that there's like still travel time on it, right? Like it has to like animate like and travel.
It has to bounce, but
yeah. Okay. It's like I was kind of holding that hope that it'd be instant, but I figured it wasn't.
Most things aren't. So
Yeah.
It's pretty quick though. I mean, this is not your Stukov booger. It bounces right on back.
Yeah, it's not like an Anna sleep dart where you're just watching it slowly travel across the world. Like it's quick enough, especially if you're close to him.
Rhaegar chain heal, like that's how fast it is. It's gonna happen.
Fair enough. Okay, gotcha. Lately, this week, the target of my ire is how damn long it takes Blaze's bunker to drop.
Oh wow!
It's just
again, main tank problems. Seriously, off lane, dude. No one's targeting you with stuff in the start of team fights. Everyone's CCing something else. It just happens. It's amazing.
There may be a correlation between me thinking bunker doesn't drop fast enough and my comments about Diablo from a few minutes back.
There you go. That'll happen.
Putting that out there.
They fixed an issue where Into the Fray level 7 now correctly throws in the air and gives unstoppable to allied heroes who are already close to Garrosh when used. So this was the augment that caused it to no longer do what it was meant to do?
Was it specifically a distance issue? Like if someone was like really, really close to you, it would bug out?
I didn't experience this, so I'm not sure, but it's all better for those who are in the know.
Yeah, I don't know what was broken about that.
Yeah, the way that this one is worded. Again, though, I forgot that these were fan-made bug fix notes, not official ones. But the fact that it was specifying that being close to Garrosh had something to do with it made me think. Because I had no personal experience with this bug either.
And they did move it from a level 7 talent to a base ability, and in that transit, it may have gotten a little weird, so they fixed it up. But the big one for Muradin's is that the baseline quest no longer thinks it's a baseline quest as it once was.
It's gone finally.
You're not going to see it there on the score screen. You're not going to be getting random dings based on other factors. You can't complete the quest early for the Pierce before 10 anymore, which was nearly impossible.
That was another fun CCL question. Well, why is that talent tracker there? No one knows.
I love asking a third party about why things are weird in the game itself.
Yeah, sometimes I think they think that we have some sort of control over it. We get asked a lot too after there's a patch if we're playing on the old patch or the new patch. And it's like, I'm not sure how you'd expect me to do that, because I guess they remember
HGC from 2018.
Yeah, they remember from HGC having the tournament servers and playing on old patches, and it's like, that we don't have that at all. No. Sure, how you'd want me to be able to do that?
No.
But yeah, that's always a good one too.
That's an interesting one.
Yeah, no, we get it every time there's a patch during the weekend. Are you playing on the old patch? It's like, it's not possible. It's not possible.
You're giving me working retail flashbacks, because this is like when people would come up and be like, well, why do you close at 8? Can't you do something about that? And I'm just sitting there like, lady, I make minimum wage. What the hell do you want me to do about a corporate policy?
Funny, you should bring up what time, because that's another one always is the EU viewers who we love and appreciate, but are always like, why do you start so late?
Yeah. I mean, we get that one for like our game nights and stuff. They're like, can you do it during EU time? And I'm just... like, I feel for them, because like I'm stoked that you're stoked on what we do and you want to like hang out and play games with us, but also it's like, we're not in the EU.
Yeah, we are in fact American.
Yes.
Huh.
However that might go. Also with CCL, we did cater our time a little bit because Master Clash, there was some overlap. So if we started earlier, they would have been happening at the same time, and there are teams that play in both. So that would have been bad.
I don't know. Grubby's there. Grubby's up. He's doing it.
Yeah, so Grubby, I'm pretty sure Grubby never sleeps though. He just is video games, right? Like permanently.
But you want to be cool like Grubby, right? I saw him stream at like 6 p.m. Pacific time last night, so I don't know. I'm out.
Yeah, I need sleep, y'all. I have to sleep. Getting older.
There was one final fix that I wasn't aware of for Towers of Doom anyway, but is well publicized on the Reddit about Warhead Junction. The Waygate entrance no longer blocks area effect and skill shot abilities.
It was like a thing. Did you see the video of the Garrosh throwing it?
Wait, he threw the tunnel?
The entrance. And I don't think it affected the tunnel, but because the tunnel was weirdly an object, Garrosh could pick it up and throw it.
Oh.
Well, that makes sense. When you hover over it, it gets the outline.
Yeah, it was a thing. So there was a video of a Garrosh going up to it and using into the like whatever and and throwing it and like a little piece of terrain, and then it would disappear. But it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen, that Garrosh could throw the tunnel on Warhead.
Huh.
So that it was all, I don't know.
Furiously Googling this. Oh, here it is. 8 days ago. Reddit post. I'm going to get this link and I'm going to throw it in the show notes because it's coming up on the fly. Garrosh can into the fray part of the tunnel on Warhead Junction.
You throw the tunnel. It's so weird.
Yeah, here you go, chat.
Like,
here you go, chat. Oh, goodness. Yeah, look at that. How weird. I mean, it stays there. It like does
right. I don't think it permanently. I don't think it breaks it from that thread. I've never seen this in real life, but just from reading that thread, I don't think it breaks the tunnel. But like, why? That's some of that hot spaghetti code that I would just be. Why?
Interesting. The one I've seen actually is that it blocks skill shots, particularly Kale Thought. So ones that sometimes like go along the ground. Because there's sometimes a distinction when that comes to like Zagara creep and stuff. But a Kael'thas gravity lapse will be intercepted by the Warhead Junction tunnel. And this
would
is
like
Towers
gleaming
of Doom
like an orb. Would like an orb
See, I don't think that works because orb doesn't detonate on
the
creep.
ground.
Yeah.
Right.
Makes sense that it's a Towers of Doom fix, though, because the tunnel on Warhead is the tunnel from Towers of Doom. Just
Oh, that's a good point.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
the
just brought it
same.
over.
When they added it in their, I think it was either on Reddit or it was in the dev notes itself. They talked about how that's put it there.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna admit something. I never used the tunnel on Towers of Doom.
Oh, never?
I basically
Tunnel?
constantly forget that it exists, and yet for some reason I constantly use the tunnel on Warhead Junction, and it didn't even freaking start with it. I don't know why.
That's fair though, because the Warhead Junction one is like a heavy feature, particularly of an offlaner. So good on you for using that one. And I do get it. I think I actually avoided using it a lot as well. But when your team is panicking middle bottom tower, and you're dead, you're thinking about how you can get there as fast as possible. So I think voice comms enhance awareness.
I'm loving Corny in the chat room right now who says, add a tunnel to Blackheart's Bay. Also, delete Blackheart's Bay.
Forget Blackheart's Bay exists a lot because I don't play a lot of quick match.
Yeah, I've been...
So I fully forget that it's there until somebody brings it up and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a map.
I've been basically just trying to learn heroes I either haven't played in forever or have barely played, like Vala and Blaze for like the last month. So I've basically just been living a quick match. And yeah, Blackheart's Bay. I don't care for it. I do not care for it.
Would rather play professional Blackheart's Bay than Garden of Terror.
Wait,
really?
what
I love
happened to-
Garden
what-
of Terror. What?
What happened to Garden of Terror? This is the first I'm hearing of this. How did Garden of Terror hurt you, Kyle?
I think it's ultimately the minions. I think the idea that you show up early, but they take forever to clear, and then by the time you do it, the enemy team's there. And it's kind of got that old Curse Hollow vibe where like then they kill all of you, but you res so fast that you come back. And now the fight lasts forever, but you still got 3 charges to get. Plus, I have to play a whole bunch of Hogger, and the Hogger angles suck on all those camps too. So that certainly enhanced my
I was about
opinion.
to say, I'm like, half of your play is on team environments. Like, take one other friend with you. Like, you aggro the ads, the other person channels the objective.
I know.
I get that. I get that in solo games, but also like it's solo games. The objective is up. At least 3 out of the 5 members of the team are going to drop whatever they're doing, regardless if it's the right call or not, and go to the objective.
I think ultimately it might come down to a clashing philosophy that I love castle defense games in like Warcraft 3 and StarCraft Arcade. And the idea that giant terrors are marching down all the lanes should be really exciting. But instead, all my buildings suck and they do nothing to help. And then they get turned off as well.
Top plan.
And I think it's just overall a disappointing map for me for that reason.
So would make you happier getting the objective faster or the buildings being powerful enough that they actually extend the length of the game? Because I'm getting mixed signals from you on the topic of Garden of Terror.
I don't think I'll ever be happy is the problem.
Fair.
I think I disliked Old Garden so much with the player piloted plant, PPP, player piloted plant, that when they switched over to the Tomb of the Spider Queen style 3 auto pushing down each lane, I just loved it so much more that now it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
I'm
Maybe
with
I
you on
haven't
that.
forgiven. That's also another aspect. I think I need to forgive Old Garden of Terror for its ridiculous strategy.
Oh, Old Garden of Terror was so bad. It was one of the my longest game ever played was 47 minutes on Old Garden of Terror.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that was because the people didn't know how to pilot the plant, right? They didn't know about dropping your plant and then walking away. But then also when that strategy was removed, that's when they started dropping the plant and walking away. And it was just,
Information travels slowly in the Nexus.
It's true. Yeah. So I was so happy when they're like, you know what? Forget it. It's gone.
I do, however, miss the speed button, like the speed ability on the Terror when you can pilot it. Can we put that on the Dragon? Can I just?
Oh no,
relive that?
because no. That's how we get back to the bad garden terror thing. Because then the dragon would flame breath and then speed to another lane and then
Zoom,
flame
off
breath.
he'd go. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Big
So
Fluke.
so much. It takes so long for that bastard to get where it needs to go, though. Like you
But
gotta.
he already starts halfway. That's that was the worst thing for Old Garden Terror was you had to go all the way back. You couldn't agree on who was going back in the first place unless you had like a murky or something.
There's a lot of just
And then-
screaming at each other like the timer is running out. What are you doing?
Did you ever have one
The
expire? I remember seeing
Yeah.
ones expire because nobody got in it, and it's like, oh.
That was just the worst. Like, but I get like there were so many design challenges with that battleground, right? Because like if you just let you bank it, it's like cool. I'll just sit on this and forever. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
I'm just so
another
much
ticket pop.
happier with how it is now that I'm like, it's fine, it's whatever, it's
Yeah.
great,
Yeah.
it's great.
I'll learn to forgive, but I'll never forget.
Kyle,
Think of what it could be. It could be so much worse.
Kyle
I think
and
I'll
were
direct pass.
going-
That's my favorite pushy one. Is I like the buff aura. I like the speed of those things. Except I do have to get angry for a hot moment because this week my I'll never get out of my bunker heathen guy charged out of the bunker all the way to the fort and died out there.
Vander was pissed.
What? That's
He
something
left.
that could happen?
He always yells about not leaving his bunker, and in this instance, he literally ran out of his bunker.
Not leaving his bunker is one of his major like character traits too. Same in World of Warcraft. That's like his whole thing.
Right on his video game dating profile, there are several bullet points, and one of them says
It's over
never
with.
leaves his bunker.
That's hilarious. I kind of would like to see that. I mean, not hilarious
dig it
because it
up.
costs you the game, but also like kind of funny.
Can confirm. I've never seen that happen. I didn't know that was a thing that could happen, but that's
And he just started spinning
that's
out
great.
there, and everyone was killing him, and it was awful.
Yeah. All right. Kai, are you ready for some Q&A? We pulled quite a few questions for you from our patron
Yes,
Discord.
absolutely.
And chat, if we've got some time at the end, we'll pull some extra questions. Make sure you tag A Move TV so I can keep an eye on them and try and pull them in here. But we're going to start off by avoiding the Stukov questions since you already
I saw that on there and I was like, oh boy.
Yep. Stompo wants to know, what is it like being a healer with someone who picks quote-unquote tanks like Cav does?
I trust and have full faith in Cavalier Guest 100% of the time. My commitment level is as high as it could be. So if Cav says Ariel is a tank, then Ariel is a tank, and that's okay. And I will do my best to heal and support and whatever it is, whatever character he has me playing, whatever he wants me to do, I'm gonna do it. Like, okay. Maybe the first couple times the weird tank picks made me nervous, but I played with, like, I remember playing with Casanova doing Maiev tank back when that was like new. It's not new now. You see it a lot in pro play, but I remember the first time I saw Maiev tank, just the absolute like, what? So I'm a little acclimated to it. They tell me it's a tank, and I'm gonna heal it and do my best. You just gotta trust. You gotta trust. You gotta trust the teammate. If this was Storm League and it was some randoms and they told me Ariel was the tank, it might be a little different. I still have to do my best, right? But also, there maybe be some more panic involved.
I mean, y'all have been on the team now for how long? Like, has it been a year yet since this roster iteration?
I don't know. Yeah, we moved.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have changed rosters a bit, haven't we, Kyle? So it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, because it comes up here too, and I like, not that anyone's ever said this, but I could see it being construed as us like dunking on Cav.
Never.
It's just so strange. But like it's been a while since I've filled in, but I've filled in on the team multiple times, and like some of my favorite HOTS memories are playing with you all, and it's like it does work sometimes. I've also lost games, but you're gonna lose games. It's Heroes of the Storm. It's just that like the comps are so wild, they're so bizarre that there's no other way to talk about them than through the lens of this makes no sense. Look at how crazy this is. It doesn't necessarily mean it's inherently bad.
There's usually a reason behind it, right? Like with the Ariel, it's funny, but mechanically what they're saying, like Ariel is range Diablo, that she has the ability to stun off the wall, and like she has these other things that they're looking for in a tank. I've heard them say it with Maiev too, again, how she can engage, how she can CC, how she can mitigate damage with her D. Like, just because she's not labeled as a tank doesn't mean she doesn't have the tools to be a tank. So when those players tell me that's the tank, I'm like, all right, you know something, you've got a plan, let's go.
Also, I mean, if we're acting like we put up with Cav, I'd say he more puts up with us. He's
True,
trying to
yes.
make shot calls, and we're too busy memeing and having a grand time.
We're talking about weird stuff, and we all have like unique limited hero pools too, where he's like, can you play this? And it's like, no. We're constantly asking him what talents to pick, where to be. This man basically playing 5 characters. So
I'm so concerned about burdening him. I don't know what prio is.
yeah, right. Like
No. Okay, no, we're not defending that one. Y'all are just making up effing words and bringing them in with no context and acting like they've always been a thing.
Dude, no, you need to hang out with Mockery then, because he's what, 22, and he's constantly saying words that I have no idea the meaning of.
I don't.
He told me, I said
No, this is
pressed. Like if something has you pressed, it has you upset, right? I thought that was a normal word, and he said the kids don't say that anymore. And I was like an old fogey for saying something had me pressed. I thought that was hip. Oh no.
Also, I don't think they're saying hip anymore, Kai. I'm sorry. to break
No,
that
they're
news to you.
not. They're definitely not. And I don't think anyone says old fogey, but here I am.
Well, and I just learned what drip is. Like, I'm so lost.
Oh no. Yeah, remember when I had to ask Mockery what a fit was? That's your outfit. Yeah, it's not good.
All right, listen. All right, this is Heroes of the Storm. Okay, this is the domain of 30-year-olds. Okay, I am not bending to the whims of 20-year-olds. Okay, it is not on me to keep up with the cool lingo. You are in my shuffleboard retirement court, you youngins.
That is not true.
This is
That is
my
not
house.
true. No, Garrett, I've done CCL interviews, and you asked them when they got into Heroes, and they said, well, I was 14. This is not
like
true.
when the player had to take a day off because he graduated high school, that makes you, oh no. Oh no. What?
All right, there's the exception to the rule. I learned how to play shuffleboard when I was 16 years old, okay? But I bet that's not standard. Also, I grew up in Florida. The only thing I could get as a job was at a retirement home, okay?
You're also cruise adjacent.
The cruise had nothing. It had entirely to do with the fact that my first 3 jobs was working at a retirement home. But yeah. Anyways, no, I've retained. This is the great thing about getting old. I don't need to worry about being cool anymore. I give up. There's no point. So I was never cool, and I'm just that's my brand. My brand is not cool.
Oh no.
Sorry, Kai. Not helping you out. Not helping you stay hip.
I'm 31, so I'm trying so hard. I'm on the TikTok trying to figure out what the kids are saying. Infiltrating their lairs.
Recon for the rest of us.
I'm DMing Mockery all the time.
Zoomers,
Like,
could you please update the Urban Dictionary, because I can't find context for your words anywhere. That'd be wonderful. Thank you.
You need to get a zoomer on. You need to get a zoomer on speed dial. You need a Mockery that you can DM. Be like, hey.
Mockery,
the worst thing about-
can you translate this for me, please?
It's the worst thing about the memes, because it's already like a dog falling in lava by the time you got to it in Minecraft, and you don't know what the original dog fell into or what happened in the first place anymore, because it's all just been, stick bugged or whatever at this point.
Did either of you see the legitimate question about where the episode 2 meme that's been blowing up, where it came from?
That they hadn't seen Star Wars episode 2, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I forget exactly how the question was phrased, but it was like, does anyone know what old fantasy movie this is from? It's just like, oh god, hit me right in the like, I get it. It's arguably the worst Star Wars movie ever made, but still, come on.
Oh well, they'll have to go through this with Avengers, so it's all just a matter of time.
You're right. It's the generation after Gen Z is going to be like,
They're gonna see a Thanos meme and say, "Who's this purple guy?"
Why doesn't he feel so? Why doesn't Mr. Stark feel good? I don't understand. Who's Mr. Stark?
Oh no.
That's gonna be it. My lights just flickered. I miraculously still have internet. There's a wild thunderstorm outside. So stream, if this goes down, that's what happened.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
Florida. So let's move right along to Crushinator's question. Crushinator says, what does it take to push through the dripping sarcasm and flat out trolling in CCL Twitch chat in order to be a good moderator and good representative of the organization? Well, if today's any indication, I think it's just talk about it. Just vent about the silly things you get asked.
Yeah, we have a couple of people who are, besides, it's not just me who is the mod. You know, we have Alex and like Fu, and we do have weekly meetings where we talk about what happened in the previous week. And we have like code of conduct for what is acceptable for us to say and what we want to see or not see in the chat. And like, yeah, we do just kind of talk about it and be like, and since CCL is part of Heroes Hearth is part of Wisdom. It goes for all of the shows that we do, right? So we do this kind of recap every week and hash through what we've seen. If something caught us off guard, like we had some stuff this weekend that caught us off guard, and how we want to handle it in the future. So we're prepared. We got a great Google document that we keep of like things that happened and how we responded to them, or how we would like to respond in the future. So we take it seriously. We want the chat to be fun and engaging and fun, but not hostile or bad for anybody, right? We want people to have fun. We love memes, but we also don't want anybody to have their feelings hurt or feel unwelcome. So it's something that we work on a lot, and then just in the moment, pushing through the dripping sarcasm and stuff. I mean, some things can weigh you down, but it's really similar to like streaming on Twitch too. Like you're gonna see things that are unfortunate, and you just have to push through and keep your positivity up while the camera's on, or while the stream is live, or while the games are playing, and then work through it later.
That's a good way to put it. Like I've always just said, like there's like one rule on our stream, and it's just like don't be a dick. Like that's it. Just
yeah, that's a hard rule to, because. But I was just joking. KKW. Like you wish people could just not be a dick, but it's unfortunately not so easy as that.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that dicks don't surface. They definitely do. But yeah, that's the line. Some people don't know where it is. Sadly.
Yeah, no, or they blatantly want to stomp on it too, but that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, unfortunately. Ferlino asking the hard questions says, Kiyeberries, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I was really excited to be invited back. Little surprised, very excited. So I'm doing great. This is a wonderful day.
All right. Delon says, do supports in general still have a large slice of the power pie? Are we getting closer to another support apocalypse? Given healers are seemingly getting stronger, and then in parentheticals, Anduin, Malf, Stukov, etc.
So like I hope we're not gonna have another support apocalypse. That was no fun. But I do think supports are powerful. And I also think that's why they don't release them as quickly as they release assassins, because a new support shakes up the meta quite a bit. But part of that power with supports is tied to the rest of the team too. HOTS is a team-based game, right? I think we can all agree on that. And while supports are powerful, they're kind of only as powerful as the people around them. I'm an okay support player, but I do find myself in games in Storm League a lot where there's nothing I can do. Like, it doesn't matter how well I play my hero. It doesn't, like, a lot of the supports have a lot of the CC that they carry around. And it doesn't matter how good you land your skill shots, how high your healing numbers are, what kind of CC you lay down, if you engage, if you peel, whatever you do, it doesn't matter, because you're not dealing the damage. You're not the front line. Sometimes there's nothing you can do, and that can feel really sad. So I don't think supports are like OP, but then you watch like CCL and you see coordinated play and you see crazy Lucio plays or crazy Stukov plays, and it seems like these heroes are so overpowered, but part of that power comes from the teamwork that they have. hopefully we don't have another support apocalypse, because out in the trenches, like you said, it's a little different than what you see in organized play.
Yeah, double back when they were called support, double healer making it to the at-home draft game, like that was a big deal, because it was happening in damn near every game. It became common knowledge. It trickled down to, gold and platinum league. Like it was a thing. It was a common strategy. So I don't know. I don't know what it would take to get us back there. I was a little worried with this Vala rework. I'm like, that's a lot of damage potential. This might be enough. We might just start double supporting Valas again if she could actually make it through draft. But, it turned out, pre-multi-shot nerf that didn't really need it. Multi-shot was doing enough damage on its own to get the job done.
We might have to ask Coldfault about it, because that may be the very reason why tank lane clear has been reined in, so they don't have to have another support apocalypse, because that's where part of that came from. Yeah, it was a healing decrease, but it was also that lane clear damage. So knock out the tanks, now you can't do double support because you're not going to cover it on Johanna.
Yeah, and you had a couple supports too that were kind of wacky, like Ariel during double support was kind of wacky. She did a lot of damage and a lot of healing, because that was before the cooldown. Remember, she had that talent that reduced the cooldown of her Q, so she was just a machine gun Q spammer. So her healing was super high at like virtually no cost. And then she also did a ton of damage. So she was half an assassin by herself. And we don't have so much of that going on, where you have healers that are kind of out of whack like that. You see it a little bit with like Lucio and sometimes like Uther, but I feel like it's not as crazy as it was during that period.
It's I mean, as always, it's a broad statement, but it's like there's a lot of moving parts to really any sort of meta that we find ourselves in, and I think
there's more than one factor to it.
Yeah, you are both drilling down into some really key factors of what led to the last, double support in our home games meta. It's been a long time, so it's like that also too is like, well, enough time has gone by. I wouldn't be surprised if we found ourselves there again. But you're right, like. What would you do? Would you just like double support no tanks, go damage, so you actually have enough like lane clear? Like I don't know how I would force it. Like,
and you do see double support sometimes still too. Like it still crops up. It depends on the healers in question. But again, Uther, Lucio, like Karazim, like they double support comps pop up. It's just not what it was.
Yeah. I don't know. Need more like lane, like offlaners like Zool that can bring some tankability to the table, I guess, is if you're really trying to make it work. Or I guess talk to Cavalier Gas would be the theme of.
Yeah, or just ask Cav what's a tank.
Yeah, of off meta drafts.
Yeah,
for
could
sure.
be anything.
Yeah. All right, we're going over to Divok, who asks, what is the best way for the average player to practice learning a new healer? And then follow up, what healers do you think every player should know how to play? Not necessarily power level, but for flexibility purposes.
So I think if you have never played healer before in HOTS or in a MOBA or maybe anywhere, it's definitely a shift from playing like an assassin or a tank. So I usually tell people when they're like, what should my first healer be? It's either Lily or Rhaegar, because they're pretty easy. It's not like Anna, where your healing output is dependent on landing skill shots. It's not like Stukov, where their healing mechanic is a little convoluted and they're kind of like combo based and like just complicated characters to play. They're both pretty sturdy. They can take some hits. Their positioning for like basic play isn't as super important, right? Rhaegar can get in there and mess people up. They both have pretty decent escape. Like, they're just safe healers to play. They're not super good, and you're not going to see either of them really in competitive. But for learning how to play a healer, those are the two I usually recommend for people, just so you can get used to shifting your eyeballs from enemy health bars to your pals' health bars, working on your positioning in a team fight. Like, where is my place? I'm the healer. Where should I be standing? Am I too far forward? Things like that. And then once you're just kind of comfortable and like, I look at health bars now, then you can start adding in the better healers. Also, both Lily and Rhaegar have cleanse, and they're really easy cleanses, right? Rhaegar has the OG cleanse, and Lily has the really good cleanse. So it can get you used to using cleanse, which is really important and powerful. And you're probably going to be picking healers later that have the special cleanses that work differently, like Anna's cleanse, Taranda's cleanse. They're not just a single button. So get you familiar with how cleanse works. So when the cleanse that you have is a little more complicated, you're at least, you know how to cleanse. It's important.
Nice.
So those are how I start with healing, or that's how I recommend people.
It just gives you good, like, keep an eye on everyone else's health bars and whatnot too. Just get you in the mindset of just keeping an eye on the status of your team, which
Yeah,
kind of make
because I think for
decisions.
people who never heal, you kind of, and I see a lot with players in gold. Not only do they not look at their teammates' health bars, they don't even look at their own health bar a lot of the time. They just
Yeah.
expect somebody's gonna be healing them or not, and they'll die. But they don't care. That's not their concern. So it's definitely a shift in play style if that's how you've been playing, that you do need to look at the health bars, all the health bars, your teammates' health bars, your health bar, the enemy health bars, in that you're like, oh, we shouldn't be engaging here. We're low. They're full. They have their ults. We don't. Like, you have to put your eyes on different information. So I think those two are the two good starter healers for while you're changing to that play style.
You said something interesting in your stream the other day, that you like to take talents that also heal you because you're so busy healing everybody
Yeah,
else.
my very last priority in a team fight is always me for some reason. And I do this in other games too, where I heal, which is everywhere. Where the last person I want to heal, if I have like a list of whom I'm healing, I am at the bottom. Everybody else has a priority. So I really favor talents. We were talking about it because I take Binding Heal as Anduin, which is when you use your Q to heal someone else, you get a heal. And I was talking with Tiger because we were playing together, and he was like, you could, instead of taking that, you could take Desperate Prayer. But for me, I really like those talents where you get free healing, because then I can spend less time focused on me. And as the healer player, I'm very often trying to position myself in a way where I'm not taking a ton of damage. I'm not super threatened. So that healing coming to me from like Binding Heal is usually enough. And then I don't have to worry because I'm the bottom of my priority anyway. So I'm getting some healing passively, and I can keep my priority on everybody else. And I don't know if other healers do that, where they're their own last priority.
It's
but
definitely something I fall into as well. I die a lot when I heal.
Because I'm looking at everybody else. I got other things. I've got all my teammates. I've got all my CC that I'm trying to use, cleansing, buffing, or whatever you have. Like, I'm the bottom of the list. I got other stuff to do. So
yeah, Lily is the exception, I guess, to all of this.
Lily is so interesting because she's so easy on the surface, but I do like the little added layer of complexity she has, where you know where her Q is going. It's based on proximity and also missing health percentage. And they give you like a little graphic of who your Q is going to go to, depending on what skin you're using. It's like a little green swirl. So you can try to alter your positioning to force the Q to go to certain people. So if you have somebody on your team that's like, you don't want to be healing them for whatever reason, they've got self-healing, or there's somebody else who's a higher priority, you can try to change your positioning and get farther away from them and manipulate where that heal is going to go. I'm not saying Lily is great or that she has a ton of depth, but it is a neat, as you play Lily more and you get more comfortable, you can go from just holding down Q and it goes where it goes and you don't care, to kind of finessing it to go where you want it to go.
Yeah, there's a manipulation there that's really, really interesting, and it's very unique to Lily. There's really no other healer that functions that way.
And no, I love Lily. She's not great, but I love her.
It's a lot of fun. I've really liked her ever since her last round of buffs, I guess. It's been a while now.
Snake build, man. Snake build all the time. All snakes.
It's wonderful. All right, Zatoichi is going to bring us home with multiple questions, though, starting with, and I'd love this one, because we talk about who we want buffed a lot on the show, and we never talk about supports or healers. And Zatoichi asks, which supports are in most need of buffs?
That is a tough question, because I guess it might depend on what level of play you're talking about. I feel like balance is such a complicated thing, because what is balanced in quick match or bronze is totally different than what is balanced in like grandmaster, right? So like for me, probably my least played healer besides Stuko is White Mane. And I don't know if she needs buffs, because I see people play her in higher level play and she seems to do really well. But to me, she feels really awkward and unfun to play. So I don't know if she needs buffs, or I just don't click with her and don't like her. But White Mane is the first one that jumps to my mind. Just I don't see her played a lot anywhere outside of like really high level play too. When I watch like GM streamers, I see White Mane a fair bit, but when I play in gold, I don't actually remember the last time I've seen a White Mane picked. So something's afoot there where she is not appealing to us dum-dums.
That's like the launch Genji problem. Like Genji's win rate was so low, like within like the first year of his release, and yet he was like a top pick in HGC and very effective at high levels of play. I think White Mane kind of falls into that.
Yeah, that's definitely, it's why I think it's a complicated thing, because like what is good in one place might be terrible in another. So it's hard to say. But I guess the one I would say that I would like buffed would just be Rhaegar. I like Rhaegar, but he is not good right now. The last time he was good was right after Bloodlust got buffed, and there was like an awesome like month period where Bloodlust was meta. Everybody was first picking Rhaegar. It doesn't matter what comp you had, you just took Bloodlust and it was great. And then it got nerfed, and now he's never played again. Ancestral is just like really not good, even with the level 20 upgrade compared to like most of the other healing heroics. Like Ancestral just lags behind, and I don't know. I wish Rhaegar was better. I guess that would be the pick.
I would not be against a Rhaegar buff by any means.
He might need more than a simple numbers tweak too. I don't know. Maybe Rhaegar needs to be looked at for a rework if that's it. I don't know what it is for him, but
yeah, I wonder if it was like a Hogger encroaching on his business, because Hogger came in, had this amazing camp clear. So Rhaegar possibly got his lunch eaten, and then Hogger causes this like camp clear arms race as everyone tries to even match it or ban it or find something else that'll work there. And Sonya's and Malthael start being too slow at it. So maybe Rhaegar just doesn't cover the bases he used to with the same effectiveness of other heroes.
yeah, Rhaegar's like after the Bloodlust nerf, and he wasn't picked purely for Bloodlust anymore. The only thing Rhaegar had going for him as a healer is that he has good wave clear and camp clear compared to all the other healers. But either that's not necessary anymore, or it's not enough. Like his healing output is not great compared to the other healers. He has very little to no CC. He has a slow that can be talented to be a bigger slow, but it's not good. And then Ancestral is really weak compared to like any of the other pure healing heroics, like I don't know, like Lifebinder. He has a cleanse, and he has I think he has the last just basic cleanse where it gives unstoppable, and you press the button and it's cleanse, and that's it. But then you have other healers that have just better versions of that, like Uther, or even Lily has like a better cleanse. Yeah. I don't know what they would need to do to make him. You don't see him played in the lower ranks, even if you need wave clear. There's often some other hero that's a better choice. Like Rhaegar is like your last ditch choice there. I don't see him played at higher level. You don't see him in competitive. Like I don't see him in quick match. Like where's the Rhaegar?
That's true. It'd be cool to tie his cleanse to something. Lightning shield hits. Yeah, Lily and Uther get those bonuses.
Yeah, Lily has such a great cleanse. They both have cooldown reduction. Lily's heals on contact without a talent. Like, that's cool. Poor Rhaegar, though. His cleanse is so boring. Maybe it could drop a totem. I don't know.
Ooh.
Do we want more of the totems though? Sounds like none of us are particularly thrilled about.
I mean, maybe it could be a good totem. Poor
I
totem.
do, now that you mention it, I think Rhaegar's totem may be second place to Lunara's Wisp for the most I do not care abilities in the game.
Yeah, the only time it feels cool is when you use it to absorb like tower shots or fort shots, and it gets 2, and you're like, woo! Look at my little leg go.
Eat it, Li Ming. Eat it. Zatoichi also wants to know if, how much does maps affect your choice of healer?
A bunch. My team comp and the enemy team comp definitely affect my healer choice, but the map affects it a lot. Do you need a global on this map and you need or really want Brightwing? She's really good right now, and I pick her on maps even where I'm not picking her just for the global, but that comes in. It also affects what talents I pick too. Like for Anduin, if I'm going to pick Lightwell, is 100% dependent on the map. Because is it a map where my teammates are going to be grouped up and get good value out of the Lightwell? Or is it a map where the fights are more spread out, or, like contained, or they're not full 5v5 team fights in the early game? And then I'm not going to take Lightwell because it's not going to get as much value. But yeah, map is a big factor. Alex Straza, I'm going to take her on maps where the objective lines up with the cooldown for Dragon Queen, where I can use Dragon Queen every objective or maybe every other objective. But maps like I don't think I ever pick Alex on Hanamura unless I have some other really big reason. But like Hanamura is not a good one for Dragon because the objective moves so slowly. They'll just walk away. Dragon will wear off, and then you're still trying to push that stupid cart, and you don't have Dragon anymore. You only try to invade the enemy's samurai if you don't need a dragon to do it. You're taking it when the time is like opportune, like you've already won a team fight. So I don't take Alex there. I take her on maps where the objective is good for Dragon Queen. Yeah, it's a big factor.
Some rad answers. Like I think about Brightwing. I never think of trying to like sync up Alex's cooldown though, and how much of an
impact. That's a big one. Impact. Yeah, so for like Cursed Hollow, if you're taking Q build, which is what I like, you can have a dragon for every other tribute. And if you're taking E build, you can have a dragon for every tribute, which is big.
It's exciting.
Because it's a big zoning tool. Oh, go on.
I was going to say, finally, Zatoichi had 3 questions. The third and final one is, why does Lily get your bloodlust higher than any other support?
I don't know, but you just feel so you want to battle when you play Lily. I don't know. I want to go in. I want to hit people. She does have really great escape and survivability, especially if she's 1v1ing somebody or 1v3ing. If she's only healing herself, she has a ton of self-healing when you know the cups are going directly to you and you're putting the Wind Serpent directly on you. So you can kind of battle pretty much anybody. Maybe there's something about how she skips when she walks too that just makes you want to fight.
You're annoying the opponent when they can't secure the kill, watching you skip away.
And you just skip away. Yeah, or you just skip at them, just filled with panda rage, but you're like skipping at them carrying a bug catcher net, and you're like, let's go. It's on. It feels really satisfying to get a kill as Lily as well, because they never see it coming. So when you go in there and they're like, oh yeah, I'll fight Lily. I'm Sonya. I'll fight Lily. No, you won't. It feels good.
I really like Lily as well. And I think to me, you're talking about her, like she has good escape. Like, I think I like Lily because I get to have a similar thrill of overstaying my welcome in a fight and getting out with my life the same way that Lucio has that, but I get to have traditional MOBA movement as opposed to having to do the wall rides.
The wall riding, yeah.
The right click hold dragging, which is how I usually move around on Lucio. I really like that I just get to right click like I'm playing an RTS on
She's
Lily.
Especially fun to take some of the talents that improve your fast feet. So you get like the armor and the bonus movement speed and stuff too, and you're just like, later nerds. Like, I don't know. She feels very cheeky and fun to play, and I definitely get punished sometimes because I do overextend because I feel the Lily rage in my blood and I want to fight, but it's very fun.
I also find her auto attack weirdly satisfying to land. I don't know why, because it's very subtle.
Are you using the ninja skin?
I am using the ninja skin. Yeah,
There you go. Because you throw a little shuriken, right?
There
Like
it
that.
is.
That
There it
adds
See, and
to
now
it.
I was thinking of her other skins. It looks like she's throwing a banana, which is really funny. It's like a yellow U shape. It looks like a banana that's flying out. So that's
What is
added
she
bonus.
throwing? That's not the bug catcher skin,
Magic.
is it?
Puffs.
Yeah, it's just a ranged auto attack. It's not really anything, but I use the bug catcher skin and it looks like a banana. So it's funny.
I was trying to relate it back to Chen clearly having a drinking problem, but I don't know what would be off of one of his jugs that are small and yellow.
She's got the teeth thing going. Yeah, I don't. What is this thing? Like wind? Magic wind? It's totally a banana.
It looks like a banana. It does. So that's how I think
I
of
mean,
it.
a lot of
She's
hosing
throwing
running
bananas.
around Pandaria. Maybe she's throwing bananas. Who knows? But yeah, I do Ninja Lily, and yeah, the Shuriken is great. It's really, really satisfying. If you're trying to get more auto attacks in on Lily, I highly recommend the ninja skin. But, well, all right. Well, thank you for your questions, everybody. Keep them coming, itncast@gmail.com. If you're a patron, well, you can skip the inbox entirely, and you can hit us up in the patron Discord. It's going to bring us to the end of this episode. Thank you all so much for listening. Again, thank you to our patrons for their support. If you want to support us here at Into the Nexus, check out patreon.com/ITN. Go get yourself access to that Discord, to those monthly game nights. Also, a huge thanks to our producers, Declan H., Cheesy Bob, Chris K., Sean B., and Mike R. We're typically live Thursdays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time right here on twitch.tv/AMoveTV. If you want to join us live, hang out with some of the most lovely folks on the internet. Nobody asking us why Stukov is turned off, by the way, here.
Oh, no.
Because they're listening into the Nexus. They're in the know. They know. They know what's up. And if they didn't, now they do. As long as it's not whatever the word was, I've already forgotten.
Lane Prio.
Prio, there you go. As long as not, if it's Prio, then they're probably still confused because I am. But anyways, before we go, Kiyeberries, you are our guest this week. Where can everyone find you when you're not guesting on ITN?
Yo, well, you can find me in chat during CCL, so I'll hopefully see you all there. But I stream on twitch.tv/Kiyeberries. I also have YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. All the social medias at Kiyeberries and pretty easy to find. That branding is on point. So anywhere on the internet.
It's so hard to get the same name for everything nowadays.
I've worked very hard for this.
Good for
Fortunately,
you.
when you have a nonsense made-up name that doesn't mean anything, it's easier.
My buddy Kyle, dude, where can everyone find you?
You can find everything I do over at KyleFergusson.com, YouTube.com/KyleFergusson for all the Heroes of the Storm VODs, which happened with Baby on Board there, the team we talked about today. But also check out YouTube.com/HeroesHearth, and of course the CCL going on as I make the halftime interviews over there, as well as replay reviews over on their YouTube. But one more thing to advertise, Garrett was on the D&D show this week as a Ranger Hunter, playing as a Dragon Slayer for us. That is There Will Be Dungeons, the live play 5th edition show.
Dude, I had so much fun. I haven't role played in quite a while. I miss it. I was super nervous. Didn't need to be. It was super fun. You made it really easy. You're a damn good DM, dude. And
Oh, thank you.
And the rest of the crew are just wonderful, wonderful folks to hang out with. So yeah, go double pimpage for There Will Be Dungeons. Go listen to that. I was on it this past week. It was a lot of fun. Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at Garrett Art and amove.tv for this podcast and every single other one that I produce. So go check it out. That's going to do it for this episode. Thank you again for listening, everybody. Kai, thanks again for coming back. And until next time, good luck and have fun.
Take care.
Thank you.